I did not like Aiden. Not at all.
Why not?
I thought he was immature about what happened in Baku. I mean, like he never really got over it. He was aggressive on track, and the paddock talks. He just wasn't happy at Connosport. Thought he was too good for the team. He just had a bit of an attitude problem.
It's already complicated. And I've told you they don't need to know.
Well, it's your call, of course. But the dishonesty makes me uncomfortable.
We'll talk about it later. Yes?
Let's make this quick.
Or maybe we could give Casper a bit of our time.
This wasn't scheduled.
What, are you too busy for us now?
Just tell them, Casper.
Andreo, please.
Can we get started?
Yeah, Aiden's got a meeting at Mercedes he needs to get to.
Enough! Enough! Okay? This is what we have to talk about. It has to stop. Understand? If we can't pull together now...
If we can't pull together, we are finished.
Wait, what does that mean?
Andreo...
It means that if we don't finish 5th or higher, Butler Global will pull funding. And I don't think we'll find an investor to replace him. Not now.
Wait, what? Casper?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, then we're finished. Andrea?
We're finished.
So yeah, Dad brought me onto the team and then immediately threatened to shut it down.
Why would he do that?
It's kind of his thing.
Okay, Callie, I'm sure you've got questions, but we think we know what we're doing here. We've got information that says more rain's coming, and so, because we're the first ones to come and make this change, we can turn it into an advantage. So on your outlap, let's make it all count.
Copy that.
Aiden's coming in for his stop now. Okay, the stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.8 seconds. into P12. P12 now, the points are not too far away. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Rain should be stopping anytime soon. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 1.9 seconds. Still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left. Our gap behind is 8.9 seconds. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 30.6 seconds. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap. Okay, the gap behind is 21.4 seconds.
Congratulations, Callie. You keep going like that, you might just prove me wrong yet. Callie?
Well, we said at the time that it might have been too soon, but in hindsight, Common Sport really did make the right call. Mayer made the pit stop, changed to wet tyres ahead of everybody else. That was a real turning point in the race.
Yeah, you've got to get these decisions right, and not everyone did today. It's great to see Connor Sport taking their chances like that. Wonderful race by Mayer.
If they want to improve on last season, they've got to try and do something different. Well, they did that today. They timed it well. And Mayer, well, she continues to impress. The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Callie, great race.
What do you mean, prove you wrong?
I was just trying to congratulate you, that's all.
Prove you wrong about what exactly?
I didn't mean anything by it. I was just saying well done.
By reminding me how little you actually believe in me.
Callie.
You are a piece of work.
But it was a great race.
You said you'd keep him away from me.
I'll talk to him.
How is he getting involved on comms?
Well, he didn't ask, he just did it.
Yeah, he'll do whatever he wants until someone stops him.
I said I'll talk to him. That was a great result out there today. Let's forget about your father, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Looks like he's found someone else to talk to anyway. Casper.
Hey, look, I've put measures in place to clamp down on who can access team radio from now on.
Thanks, I guess.
Turns out your father talked Mark into it. Said something like, you're not going to keep me off team radio on my own team.
Yeah, well, Mark can be a bit of a pushover at times.
Yeah. But listen, you'll need to learn to tolerate your father. He's going to be at this press thing later, you know.
Yeah? Well, whatever happened to you, I'll do everything in my power to keep him away from you.
Running a team means making compromises.
But this was your call, right? You decided this?
Listen, I have a lot of people I'm trying to keep happy here.
And some are more important than others, it seems.
I'm really trying here, Callie. Look, I have to go. Let's talk later.
Mum.
Callie, I just got your text. Prove him wrong? He's got a nerve.
He really gets to me, Mum. I know I shouldn't let him, but I can't bear it.
Him and his little games. Call him out on it, Callie. Say something.
I did. I spoke to him.
And?
He said he didn't mean anything by it. He said I did well today.
Unbelievable.
What else do you expect? An apology? I don't know what to do.
You keep driving, Callie. That's all you can do right now. The rest is just fluff.
If only it were that simple.
Oh, fair point. Don't envy you, darling. Not one bit. I'll leave you be.
Bye, Mum.
Hey, boss, got a couple of minutes?
Hey,
Guess who's on his way in?
What, Davidoff?
He just called the office. Arrange him a lunch, he says. He treats the office staff like his personal assistants.
He shouldn't be a drain on our resources. Look, I'll talk to him.
Can you let the garage staff know he'll be wandering around down there? And make sure we have the usual room set up for him?
Yeah, no problem.
Roll out the red carpet. Davidoff's in town. Last I heard he was joining us in Singapore, but today he just shows up.
Don't let him get to you like this. We'll handle him.
Remind me why I went into business with him?
At least you have an F1 team.
For now.
Look, he wants us to succeed.
Doesn't always feel like it, Cass. I'll see you in the meeting.
Yeah. Callie.
People are saying Dad's heading in.
He is, yeah.
I thought he wasn't around this weekend.
Well, so did we. Listen, I heard what happened in the garage.
Oh, yeah. Look, please don't worry about that. It got a bit heated, but it's fine.
I can't have that behavior on the team. I'm giving the guy a warning.
Oh, is that necessary?
But it's not okay to talk about your own drivers like that.
Right. Well, you're the boss.
Yeah. See you in the meeting.
See you there.
Could you take a look at this, please?
Everything else looks fine. It's just about that rear wing.
I don't want to sacrifice any more downforce.
It's okay, it's your call. Now, let's check the weather again in an hour.
Oi, oi! Did you miss me? Hello, sis.
Hi, bro.
Jackson.
Devon.
How are you, Devon?
I am excited. Very excited to be involved again. Now, you pretend I'm not here, you carry on, please.
Involved? How?
Oh, you know, just a little bit of this, a little bit of...
Involved? How?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Huh. And what does Andreo say to that?
He'll agree, Casper. It's fine.
Were they pleased to see you?
People are always pleased to see me.
And what was your new role?
I guess you might call me a liaison. Yeah, I love to liaise. Dad wanted me to talk to people, keep people's spirits up, give some friendly words of advice, that kind of thing. But, it was tough. Yeah, Aiden still had that ego. Still thought he was too good for the team. Wouldn't listen to Casper's advice, that was a problem. And then Andreo, he was worried about the future of the team. He had Dad breathing down his neck. And Callie, well, let's just say Callie wasn't really looking for my advice. The whole thing was a mess. I mean, honestly, I'd only been gone 5 minutes.
The two Connor Sport teammates not exactly doing each other any favours this afternoon. For me, they're a little bit too close for comfort.
What is Aiden playing at? Tell him to back off.
Okay, Callie, he knows.
Clearly he doesn't know.
Yeah, same old stuff. Jackson really wants to make a move out there, but Mayer, no chance. Not letting him pass.
Towards the Curva Grande we go. He's going for it. It's really close. It's too close. There goes Mayer's front wing. Oh, Aidan Jackson, what happened there? This now seems like a running theme at Connor Sports.
Yes, this race is critical for them. When are they going to just pull themselves together?
Okay, box please, Callie. Let's get that wing replaced.
This is a joke.
Box this lap, please. Box this lap.
Yeah, copy.
Okay, off we go, back into the race. Okay, that was a fairly decent stop, well within the times we expected. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Okay, good work, great pass. Green flag. And the gap behind us is 2.8 seconds. OK, we're only 2 seconds behind the car ahead. Keep pushing. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. Right, you've got to leave room for other cars. We can't take too many penalties here. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 3.9 seconds. Final lap. Push, push. Okay, we've been given a... Okay, this is Mark. I need you to stop cutting the corner. Great manoeuvre. You made it look so easy.
So Mayer managed to pull it back in the end, but if this continues, Connor Sport are in real danger of sabotaging their own show. A show...
Now, once again, another eventful race out there today for Connor Sport, Callie. Is the team sabotaging its own chance of a decent finish this season?
Absolutely not. We've already shown what we're capable of this season, and the car is feeling good out there. We're all focused on having as successful a season as we possibly can.
Everyone is talking about Devon's return to Connor Sport today, so is it good to have him back around again?
Devon always means well. He just doesn't always have a let's call it a net positive influence on those around him, but he's here because he cares about the sport and he cares about the team.
Tell us, if you can, about this rumour circulating about a rift between you and your father, Davidoff.
There's a lot of big personalities at Connor Sport, and there are going to be differences of opinion. That's the case in every team, right? I have really strong views, and so does my father, but we both ultimately want Connor Sport to succeed.
Now, in the past, you've refused to acknowledge the role of your father in getting your current seat at Connor Sport. Why is that?
What I said was I'm here because I deserve to be. I'm here because I can drive. I stand by that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Go on then, let's have it.
That's no way to answer the phone.
Say your piece, mother dearest.
Fine, if you want to be like that. I did say you need to be careful what you tell the media about your father, didn't I? That was the perfect opportunity today to smooth it all over, but no, you only reinforced what everyone's already saying about you.
That's just how I feel.
Oh, I mean, you've got a stubborn streak in you. I think it comes from your father. Definitely not mine. He was always so determined, unable to admit to his mistakes.
What's your point, Mum?
My point is that nobody likes your father. Sorry. Just be careful, Cal.
Yeah. Thanks, Mum.
I'll let you go, darling. Ciao.
Casper.
Hey, you handled the Davidoff situation really well today.
Yeah?
Yeah, making it about the big personalities rather than family issues. Saying it's no different for other teams, that was really smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been answering the same question my whole life, so I guess I know how to spin it.
Yeah. Maybe we should give you a job in PR.
I think I'll stick with driving the car for now.
Probably for the best. And well done for addressing the Davidoff stuff. I'm sorry you had to.
No big deal.
It is to me, Callie. So, thanks. Tagging off? Hey.
Ooh. Scared the life out of me, mate.
I didn't mean to. Picking up any tips?
I don't think they like the short straights here.
You didn't mind them, did you?
I love this track. Always do well here. Well, used to.
How are you doing, Devon?
Me? Golden, mate. Loving life.
Yeah, sure.
You know what it's like to leave all this behind, don't you?
Yeah, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done.
Yeah, well, like that. But, I didn't choose this, Casper. I didn't.
I know.
But you came back, right? How's it treating you?
Ups and downs.
How's our old teammate doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's happy here.
He still thinks he belongs in that top team, see? He's never let it go. That's the problem. You know, I could have a word with him. I mean, if you think that might help.
It's all a bit delicate.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, I understand.
No, Devon, I mean it.
Eh? Scout's on it, mate.
Hey, we need your input on this one.
Andrea,
Did you read his email?
I glanced at it.
He's a sly old fox at that one. Thank you for finding a place for Devon, as if we had a choice, Casper. As if it was our decision.
Yeah, I know.
How's it going with Devon anyway?
Ah, he's still struggling. But he does really care about the team, so, you know, maybe it'll work out.
Well, that's something at least.
Rather him than his father, right?
Rather neither of them, Casper. Anyway, I'll see you.
Yeah, see you.
Did Casper really want you to talk to Aiden?
I read between the lines. Look, Casper's good at lots of things, but I know people. Yeah, I know how to get in their heads. And I wanted to help Dad, help the team, so,
Leave me alone.
Listen, I'm just saying, mate, if you were such an incredible driver, you wouldn't be a constable, would you? Sorry, it's the truth. No offense.
Well, maybe I won't be here next season.
Oh, dude. You know what your problem is?
Yeah. You.
You think you're better than the team. I remember when Aiden Jackson was just happy to be behind the wheel of an F1 car. We all like that guy far better than this one.
You never liked me.
No. But Casper did. Once upon a time. Now you're different now. You think you're too good for the team. Your head's stuck in some imaginary big three-seat in cloud cuckoo land, mate. No. You have got to drive the car you're in.
You're lecturing me about ego.
A subject I know well.
Oh, right. I get it. So you're allowed to be cocky, but I'm not. Is that it?
There's a difference.
How can there possibly be a difference?
This isn't you. This isn't you, mate.
Oh, get lost. Be true to myself. Drive the car I'm in. The wisdom of Devon Butler. Should I be living my best life too?
Just drive the car you're in, mate, yeah? Ciao.
Let's run. Well, it's a beautiful...
Aiden, you know what you're doing here. Let's lock in and give it everything. Show us what you got. the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. You need to slow down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Gap to your teammate behind is 0.9 seconds. We're leading the car behind by 5.4 seconds. I'm afraid you approaching the pit window, you're going to be on softs. box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. Gap to your teammate behind is 23.8 seconds. come on. Good job from you and the crew there, mate. We're satisfied with that. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 6.1 seconds. Okay, Callie's in the pits. Callie's in the pits now. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left. Okay, we've got 4 laps of fuel remaining. You've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
points are in. There we have it. What a race that was.
The sheer grit and determination shown by some of the drivers out there today, Crofty, was nothing short of incredible.
Elbows out. Here comes your top three making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Now, Aidan, you have had your ups and downs this season, but tell me, on the whole, are you pleased with your overall performance?
Yeah, I'm really happy with what we've achieved. You know, F1 gets more and more competitive every single day, so I've really given it all this season, and, you know, today I've been able to show a little bit more of what we're capable of.
Okay, I'm going to be cheeky, go straight for the jugular. If you had to choose a teammate between Callie and Devon, who would it be?
I'm getting into trouble whatever I say here, aren't I? Can I have Casper back as a teammate instead? I'll talk him out of retirement.
Now, Aidan, you have recently hinted that you're not entirely happy at Connor Sport. Tell me, is it true?
I think of Connor Sport in the same way I would my family. There are a lot of personalities to manage, but we're a tight-knit group in this team. We might not always see eye to eye, but in the end, we all want the same thing.
There's been wild speculation on whether or not Connor Sport can even be on the grid next season, so can you tell us more?
Seems like a question for the investors, but no one's funding Connor Sport as a charity. They're funding it as a business. And if a business isn't successful, then there's definitely an issue.
That's great, thank you.
There was a race again.
And some information on Leclerc. Okay, they're out of this race. That move was illegal. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
That's a fantastic team effort then to Red Bull put up an outstanding fight. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Hi, Davidoff.
Aiden, quite the answer you gave today. Didn't have you pegged as a man of business.
Yeah, I didn't really think anything of it. Of course you need to make money.
Don't we all, Aiden?
Yeah, but Connorsport must be profitable, right?
We're still running the projections for next season.
So it's not certain then?
Time will tell. You said it yourself, it's just business. Thanks, Aiden.
Come on, I just want to chat, Cal.
Why? Because he told you to?
Stop making this about him. Just talk to me.
We raced in a lot of the same races growing up, and one of us would always have a better race than the other. So in the car on the way home, one of us would be happy and the other would be completely miserable. There was no middle ground. It was like it was impossible for us both to be happy at the same time. And it's kind of been the same ever since.
Look, it's my job to talk to the drivers, Callie.
Yeah, and who gave you that job?
Are you being like this? It's not even me you're angry with.
Maybe it is.
Oh, really? This again? We were kids, Callie.
You left me behind.
Come on, what was I supposed to say? Oh, thanks, Dad, for continuing to invest in my career, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to decline, just in case I hurt poor Callie's feelings.
Of course not.
And what?
It didn't have to be a choice, Dev. He had the money to fund both of our careers. I wanted you to fight for me. He never listened to me. He always listened to you.
Well, we were young.
Yeah. But we're adults now.
Yeah. Well, if it's any consolation, I'm not much competition anymore.
You never were.
I'm sorry, Callie. For everything. You were always faster than me. There, I said it.
Nice try.
I mean it.
And did you mean it?
Of course not! Faster than me? No. She was never faster than me. She'd love that. No. But if there's one thing my old man taught me, it's that sometimes people need to hear what they need to hear. You know?
Hey, Mom.
Cal, I'm reading more and more about these funding issues.
Only an issue.
Absolutely.
Safety car's in this lap. Repeat, the safety car is in this lap. That means it's our chance to shine. Come on, you can do this. Let's go.
No pressure then.
Okay, clear. car in front is 17.8 seconds. Okay, mate, race control, I'm afraid, are not happy with your creative interpretation of track limits. They've given you a 3-second penalty. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. You need to slow down before hitting the corners. We don't want to get a penalty. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. And that's just 5 laps of fuel remaining. flag. We're not racing the car behind. Let them pass when you can. Tyre condition still looking good. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Blue flag, blue flag. Safety car's in this lap. Repeat, the safety car is in this lap. That means it's our chance to shine. Come on, you can do this. Let's go.
No pressure then.
Okay, clear. Okay, gap to the car behind. Car behind, 11.6 seconds. Okay, gap ahead is 7.7 seconds. Safety car's in this lap. Repeat, the safety car is in this lap. That means it's our chance to shine. Come on, you can do this. Let's go.
No pressure then.
Green flag. Okay, car behind trailing us. gap to the car in front is 2.8 seconds. Okay, push, gap to the car behind, 2.4 seconds. Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. I'm afraid